The old house creaked around me, each groan a familiar sound in the 5 years of silence since Sarah was gone. Then, the phone rang, shattering the quiet. An unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something compelled me to answer. Hello? A voice, twisted and warped like a corrupted recording, crackled through the speaker. Your wife gave birth. She's in the IQ. Can you come to the hospital? The line went dead. I stood there, frozen. The phone still pressed to my ear. My heart hammered against my ribs. It had to be a cruel prank, a sick joke. Sarah died in a car crash 5 years ago. We were on our way to her first ultrasound. The doctor had just confirmed she was pregnant. It was the happiest day of our lives, and then it was the last. But the voice, it lodged itself in my mind, a splinter of impossible hope. She's in the ICU. The words echoed, pulling at a part of me I thought had died with her. Was I losing my mind? Was grief finally breaking me? Maybe, but what if it wasn't? What if by some miracle that defied all logic, all reason, all laws of nature? It was true? I had to know. I grabbed my keys, my hands shaking so badly I could barely fit the key into the ignition. The engine roared to life and I sped out into the night, chasing a ghost. The hospital the voice mentioned wasn't the one I remembered. As I drove, memories flooded my vision. Sarah, her hand on my arm, her blonde hair catching the sunlight as she laughed. The way she'd looked at me when she told me we were having a baby, her eyes filled with so much love and excitement, it felt like my world was finally complete. Then the screech of tires, the shattering of glass, the sudden violent darkness. The sirens. Waking up in a hospital bed, a doctor telling me they did everything they could, but Sarah and the baby, they were gone. The pain was a physical thing, a void that had consumed me ever since. I pulled up to the address. It wasn't a hospital mound anymore, it was a ruin. A skeletal structure silhouetted against the pale moonlight, windows like hollow eyes staring into nothing. St. Jude's Memorial, the faded sign read. It had been abandoned for decades. My blood ran cold. This was a mistake. A trap. I should turn around, go home, and try to forget this ever happened. But I couldn't. I was already here. Taking a deep breath, I pushed open the groaning doors and stepped into the darkness. The air inside was thick with the smell of decay and antiseptic. My footsteps echoed in the cavernous, empty halls. Moonlight streamed through grimy windows, illuminating dust motes dancing in the dead air. I followed the faded signs, my phone's flashlight cutting a nervous beam through the gloom. Intensive care unit. The doors were slightly ajar. My heart was in my throat. I pushed them open and stepped inside. The room was a graveyard of medical equipment, all covered in shrouds of dust and cobwebs. Except for one thing. In the center of the room, a single, ancient incubator was plugged in, casting a soft, ethereal glow that pulsed like a weak heartbeat. It was impossible. There was no power in this building. I crept closer, drawn by an unseen force. The light inside intensified, warm and inviting. And then I heard it. A sound that cut through the silence, through the years of grief, straight to my soul. It was the cry of a newborn baby. Faint, but unmistakable. As I leaned closer to the glass, another sound mingled with the cry, a whisper, carried on the air, so faint I almost missed it. It was Sarah's voice. Alex, it breathed. My hand trembled as I reached for the incubator's latch. Peering inside, my breath hitched. My eyes widened in a mixture of pure terror and absolute heart-stopping awe. What did I see? Well, that's a story for next time. If you're as hooked as I am, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss the next part of this mystery. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.